Vishwa.
And I'm Niranjan.
And we are the knowledgeable masterminds. And in this video, we are going to show you COVID 19, the life changer, and how it infects your body. In the last video, we showed you how COVID 19 spread in the world. And in this video, we are going to tell you how it affects our body in detail, step by step, and tell you a fair bit of extra information too. And we will make sure that you know everything you need to know about COVID by the end of this video. So make sure you watch it till the end. So now, let us see the COVID's missions on a poor human.
COVID's Mission 1, The Entry. Wow, a cinematic title, isn't it? Anyways, the first step of infecting our body is just entering through our body. And the COVID 19 virus enters our body either through our nose or our mouth using infected water droplets. I promise you, the rest of the video is going to be very interesting. Anyways, the infected droplets can reach your nose or mouth when another person sneezes or talks near you. After entering your nose or your mouth, it reaches your throat and then your respiratory tract. From there, it starts infecting further. But before all that, let's understand what is a virus. A virus is a lifeless ball of DNA or RNA, basically any genetic material. And COVID 19 is a ball of RNA. First, let us understand what is COVID 19, the virus name being SARS CoV 2. COVID 19 is that virus in the picture and it has several layers and components. So let's look at them.
The components of SARS CoV 2. Now, let us deviate a bit from COVID's mission. As we said in the last slide, COVID 19 has many layers and components just like any other virus. And it has three types of proteins in the outside: the membrane protein, that is the dots on the outside layer, the nucleocapsid protein, which is the hidden deep inside the virus, and the distinctive spike protein, the thing that sticks out that we recognize COVID 19 by. It also has several layers. The outer layer that we see is called the viral envelope. Beneath it is the capsid layer, and beneath that is the nucleocapsid protein that we mentioned earlier. This is where the RNA is found. Now, let us go back onto the track and check how the missions are going on. So,
COVID's mission 2, the infection. Wow. Now, getting back to topic. The virus, after infecting your body, chooses one cell it wants to infect somewhere in our respiratory tract. The cell the virus chooses is called the host cell. The distinctive spike protein of the coronavirus latches onto the receptors of the host cell it chose, like a lock and a key, making the poor host cell thinking that the virus is one of its own kind. Then, the viral envelope layer of the virus, that's the outer layer, merges with the cell membrane like this to get inside the cell, and then the RNA inside the virus infects the cell, and after infecting the cell, instead of making bodily proteins like it should, makes these viral proteins of the coronavirus, like the spike protein, the viral envelope, and the RNA, and the nucleocapsid protein, etc. The poor cell doesn't realize that it has just created the raw materials for a lot of new viruses to form. Now, tens of hundreds of new viruses form and get out of the cell, breaking the cell membrane and leaving it dead. Now, each of these tens of hundreds of viruses get out and infect a separate cell, and like that, the process continues and the number of viruses grow exponentially. Let's say 100 viruses get out of a cell, so 100 and each 100 produce new 100 and a new 100 out of every new 100. Oh my god, it's too confusing. Oh no! But wait, you poor human, don't start weeping already.
here comes our immunity, the savior of our day. And just because the virus is clever doesn't mean our body sits and watches itself being destroyed. The immunity gets activated. There are two types of immunities which act on the virus. The first and the stronger one is the innate immunity, and as the name suggests, it is innate or inborn, which means it is created the very same time when our body was created. Basically, that means that it was created when we are born. This kind of immunity is very strong and can be considered as more brain than brain. They just go killing all the viruses in all the cells and sometimes kill our own cells. This type of immunity responds to all kinds of viruses in the same way, ultimately trying to kill them. And that can sometimes go out of control and they can turn into mad assassins killing anything on their way, which is obviously not good. So, then comes the second type of immunity, the adaptive immunity. This is the kind of detective immunity. It needs to analyze the virus to launch an perfect aim strike on the pathogen. This immunity is considered as more brain than brain. This kind of immunity will need a spy to spy on the virus, obviously, and find out the perfect attack for it. Here comes the B lymphocytes. These lymphocytes are found in the lymph node. And what are those and where are those? Everywhere. There are about 500 to 600 lymph nodes in our body, which are everywhere in our body. And as these lymphocytes have a different set of antigens, each of the lymphocyte have a different set of antigen to neutralize the virus. And a fully grown lymphocyte has about 6,000 antigens on it. Latching onto the virus, these antigens of the lymphocytes are called antibodies. So there are about 6,000 antibodies on each lymphocyte, and each antibody is like a key to a lock. Each virus has a different lock, and as each lymphocyte has a different set of antibodies, there are like billions of keys for almost every lock or virus ever made. So it must find the perfect key to dismantle the proteins of the virus so that it dies and the human is victorious. So now let us move on to the next part. The next part is
The defense. Well, the body defends now, right? Well, the body needs to defend, of course. We can't just let the virus accomplish mission 3, which is the kill. But the adaptive immunity needs time to get the correct key of the spike protein of SARS-CoV-2. The key is the antibody of the lymphocytes, if you remember. Till then, the innate immunity handles the virus, keeps the virus in its tracks, so that the virus doesn't become too uncontrollable. Innate immunity just keeps on killing small parts of the virus, and the virus has to waste time on innate immunity. And by then comes our heroes, the B lymphocytes, which release from the lymph nodes with all the correct antibodies and attacks the virus with full force and neutralizes all the antigens of the virus, like the spike protein. Some of these lymphocytes shares memory cells and remembers the correct antibody and uses that when the virus attacks the body the next time. But the first time, how much time do these lymphocytes need to get the correct key? Sometimes the correct antibody can be made in a matter of hours after exposing the virus, sometimes in a matter of days, but sometimes it does not happen sadly, and that is when the virus wins, and unfortunately, a human is most likely to die. And there comes
the vaccines. What good are those and what do they do? To avoid the situation of the virus winning and obviously us losing, vaccines are made. They expose the virus either in a dead or weakened form, or they expose very low quantities of the pathogens. This is done so that the body knows what antibody to use the next time when the virus really attacks the body. And hence, the body can definitely fight the virus off. This is useful for almost all diseases, not just COVID 19, and this is why vaccines are considered so important. They prevent you from dying. We usually always take vaccines for some diseases like polio and tuberculosis, and we have eradicated smallpox, all thanks to vaccines. And now,
a huge thanks for watching this video. If you like the quality of the video, you can click the like or share or subscribe to support our channel and get latest updates when we release a new video. For any doubts or improvements regarding this video or PPT, please contact the underside. Links pop up. Anyways, as always, you can find the PPT in the description. Meet you in the next video. Until then, this is us,
it's us, the
the
knowledgeable
knowledgeable
masterminds,
masterminds,
signing
signing off.
off.